GameStop is one of the most compelling asymmetric opportunities in the market today. Really, I don't understand how you could disagree with that. That's why it's the top position in my portfolio and also Dr. Mike Burry's portfolio.
Meet Roaring Kitty there, or so he calls himself, who offers investment advice via YouTube, Twitter, Reddit. That clip was from last August, where he promoted GameStop as an underappreciated stock he started buying back in 2019. Now, this from last Friday.
Cheers, everybody! Oh, can I? Is there even? Let me try to read this. Let me try. Oh, damn! What a day!
By our calculations, Roaring Kitty has turned a $50,000 or so investment into some $14 million, possibly counting. We have reached out to him for a request for comment. The question, of course, is anything illegal happening here? If a lot of people band together via YouTube, Reddit, Robinhood, etc., to drive the price of a stock higher, is that securities fraud? Joining us now, David Chase, former senior counsel at the SEC Enforcement Division. David, thank you so much for joining us. Is anything illegal happening here?
Well, it depends. The SEC, I have no doubt, is going to be taking a look at this. There's certainly political pressure now. And given the attention and the stock rise in volume and the dynamics, I think they're certainly going to take a look. And the SEC has only so much that it can do. It has limited jurisdiction. You go back to the basic goals of the SEC and its mission, and that is to ensure fair and efficient markets, and also to ensure there's market integrity. So if what's going on has been fueled or is being fueled by false information, manipulation, individuals touting the stock who are being compensated and not being disclosed, etc., that may be the basis for the SEC to take action. However, if this is simply a matter of social media and individual investors, retail investors, and others who are bidding up the stock, buying it at 300 because they think they can sell it at 350, the SEC is not in the business of curbing capitalism. It is not in the business of second guessing speculation, even though it may be reckless or extreme. So there is a limit to what the SEC can do. But it's really going to have to, they're going to have to find evidence of fraud and manipulation.
Now, Michael Burry, the Scion asset manager who we heard Roaring Kitty call out there and initially took a 2.5% or so stake in GameStop, told Bloomberg he's now neither long or short the stock, but did tweet, this tweet has since been deleted, but he tweeted, "If I put GameStop on your radar and you did well, I'm genuinely happy for you. However, what is going on now, there should be legal and regulatory repercussions. This is unnatural, insane, and dangerous." And he tags SEC enforcement. We did get a statement from the SEC minutes ago that they are actively monitoring the ongoing market volatility, working with fellow regulators to assess the situation and review the activities of regulated entities, financial intermediaries, and other market participants. Other market participants. Who might they be, in your view, David?
Well, they certainly may be looking at market makers. They certainly may be looking at the quality, adequacy, and accuracy of information that's being disseminated by those market participants. One of the tools that the SEC has in the enforcement division are trading suspensions, and they can suspend trading in a stock up to 10 days based upon the public interest and for the protection of investors. Based upon concerns about the quality and accuracy of the information being disseminated, particularly market makers, their role in connection with that. And so that is a tool in the SEC's arsenal. That's something that, I'm sure they are looking hard at now, for example.
Meantime, we also heard from Senator Elizabeth Warren saying, she would also like to see more enforcement here. For years, the same hedge funds, private equity firms, and wealthy investors dismayed by the GameStop trades have treated the stock market like their own personal casino while everyone else pays the price. It's long past time for the SEC and other financial regulators to wake up and do their jobs with a new administration and Democrats running Congress. I intend to make sure they do. Do you think we could see longer term legislation as a result of this, which would mean that perhaps some things happening here, which might not be illegal now, might be illegal in the future?
That's an excellent question, and I think it's certainly a possibility. I mean, the SEC's role is not only to enforce the federal securities laws, but it also involves rulemaking and just the day-to-day regulation of the markets. What I think we're seeing here is somewhat unique. It's a dynamic involving retail investors, I think primarily moving the markets, creating short squeezes by that hedge funds and sophisticated institutional investors are on the wrong side of, apparently, and it is causing, I think, on some level, market disruption, which is fair game for the SEC. And so, to your question, and I think implicit in your question to the point, is that this may be a catalyst down the road for the SEC, and I'm sure they will examine what's going on and make a determination and assessment whether, while what is the underlying events giving rise to this may not be illegal, it's certainly something that they may want to, for purposes of market efficiency and integrity and functioning of the markets, take into consideration and perhaps contemplate rulemaking to address down the road.
In general, do you see this as a moment of sort of temporary insanity or euphoria, or is something fundamental happening in terms of the way markets move that will be fundamentally changed for the long term?
It's a great question, and I don't have the answer. I think there's kind of a general consensus across the market whether this is something new and is really a kind of marks a sea change in what we're seeing in the markets, or whether this is just kind of an extension and a natural kind of fallout from the rise of social media. And clearly social media has had implications in the political context, and perhaps what we're seeing now after some time are the consequences and the implications flowing from it in the stock market. With the pandemic and a lot of individuals at home, I think things have changed. So it's one of those, I think, the SEC in particular is going to have to monitor closely, and we're going to have to see. But I think it's fair to say that this very well may be an indication of a significant change in market dynamics.